Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Gracie of Graceful Healing. In today's episode, I am so excited to share with you this podcast I was on with Michelle Wright. She's such an amazing woman, friend, sister. And on her podcast, Lead with Your Soul, we had these beautiful conversations. So I am excited that she gifted me the episode so I could share with you all. And so you could see how beautiful she is and our conversation. And I am just so excited to share with you this beautiful conversation. I hope you enjoy it. And once again, thank you for being part of Graceful Healing. Go and subscribe, Michelle. Go follow her podcast here on YouTube or on Spotify, Apple, wherever you could find a podcast. Lead with Your Soul with Michelle Wright. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.
Welcome to the Lead with Your Soul podcast. I'm Michelle Wright, your host and fellow traveler on this journey of self-discovery. This podcast is designed for women navigating life transitions and yearning to embrace their true selves. I'll be sharing my personal journey from navigating the complexities of divorce and blending families to reshaping my career to something that resonates with my soul. With 3 decades as a teacher and mentor, I'm here to share insights, heartfelt stories, and practical strategies. Together, we'll explore how to cultivate self-love and create the vibrant, fulfilling life you deserve. Join me each week as we dive deep into the art of living authentically. Welcome to the Lead with Your Soul podcast. And I'm so excited today to invite a dear friend and colleague with me, Gracie Navarro from Graceful Healing. Thank you for having me. Yes, it is so great to see you. And just to let my listeners know, we met actually in a collective with the Spirit School, Danielle Sarenk. And you might not know, but Gracie, for me, you were the very first person I ever connected with in the collective. And in the collective, we would exchange readings with each other. And this was my very first time. And I was really nervous because I didn't know what was going on. And you were just so kind and generous in how you invited me in. And you just said, "Don't worry, Michelle. Just whatever's coming, do whatever you want to do." And you also gave me just such a beautiful and powerful reading that day that it just helped. And it set up my journey in the collective with Spirit School. So I just want to thank you so much for your kindness.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Yes, I remember, and it was beautiful. And because I remember joining the collective and I was nervous, like my head was like, I'm not a medium, but everything in me was like, dive into it. I was always welcome with grace and compassion. And that's just how I love to receive. And so I offer that too, because it is vulnerable and it is scary because it's like, what are we stepping into? Yeah. And I appreciate your kind words. It's supporting each other on our journey, wherever we start from, whether we're newbies or advanced, is okay. And it was such a beautiful reading. And I'm so honored to just be in community with you all the time. And I just love your smile, always brightening up my day. So keep smiling.
Oh, thank you. And we also, because there's sacred spirit retreats that we've been at. So you've been able to come to Canada for 2 years in a row. So we've even experienced our first 2 retreats together. So it was wonderful. And once again, a beautiful June when we did that.
Yes, it was. I don't know why. I tell my family this. I'm like, every time I go to Canada, it's like I'm being welcomed home. And I still don't understand it. Maybe it's just the land just so welcoming. The people there are so beautiful. I made so many great connections and friendships with all you Canadians. But yeah, it has been beautiful and transforming in the land, the sacred retreat. Always. Oh my goodness. It just rejuvenates me and replenishes me. The land there is so beautiful. The teaching, the people we retreat with are amazing. So yeah, I'm hoping to go again next year, but we'll see. I'm trying to make this a yearly thing for me.
Yes. And now, because You are from California, and you also have a business called Graceful Healing. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about your work and what you do and where you're from and who you are?
Yes, I'm Gracie Navarro of Graceful Healing, and I live on the sacred lands of Pomo Nation. I've lived here my whole life. Beautiful redwood trees, ocean, rivers. It's beautiful. My body of work has continued to evolve and transform. And if I could say one thing, it's deep transformation with the world of spirit. Love to hold space for individuals that want to work with me, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's mentorship, whether it's group readings, is truly to bring that remembrance of your story, your truth, of who you came here to be. Because sometimes throughout life, we forget that, or we have experiences that can muffle that and we forget who we are. So through my lived experience, I had to find my way back to my true essence of who Gracie is. And I have noticed in the work I do is really supporting people to honor their medicine, their truth, and to bring healing to the areas that are preventing them from seeing their truth and their light of who they are. Not saying that they didn't, but bringing more awareness around that. So, yeah, I do work with angels and guides and ancestors, creator. So, yeah, it is bringing that full spirit team in to support our journeys.
And when you work with these women, what does it look like? What would a session with you look like when you're talking with your spirit team, angels, and guides? And I know you do different modalities, but essentially, what are you doing?
It's going to be different for everybody. We're all on our own unique journey. And whether you're a beginner or you're in the middle of your spirit practice or still navigating life. So it's never, I always say our sessions will never be the same because it's always, for me, it's always in the present moment. What do you need right now? So, if you're a beginner and you're like, I just want to reclaim and bring healing to this area, we'll set those intentions. That's pretty much no matter where you are on the spectrum, is set our intentions. What do you need? Let's have a conversation. And if it's a healing session, most likely I'll have some kind of energetic healing because sometimes we don't realize that blocks that we're feeling is energetic that happened maybe a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, or childhood. And it's preventing us from truly um, stepping into that area of our lives. And I like to hold space and create a sacredness of what the women need at that moment. So it's going to look different and it's going to evolve. Okay. And it's really connecting with, I call in my spirit team and I invite my sitter to have their spirit team there. And we're curating this beautiful healing session of what that person needs right there and then.
And like when you work with women in transition, do you see that they need to, like when you say there's that healing, what does it look like or feel like or sound like when you're connecting to that? Is it a message that you get? Is it a feeling in your body? What is it that you have?
It varies. One of my strongest players is clairsentient, I feel. So going into sessions, I could maybe feel their energetic blocks in their body where they're holding tension. I could just know, okay, when I open up my channel, it's like sometimes their energy will be telling me what they need, or their spirit team this is where my awareness, I just allow that flow to open up. And then I will bring a couple things that I'm feeling and ask them, this is what I'm sensing. How does that feel with you? And if they say yes, then we'll start following that thread down and then we'll just start having that conversation. Because I want to get engaged with, I love a conversation. I don't want to just be telling them what I'm sensing. I want that engagement. I want them to know this is their sacred healing. I'm just here to support you. This is what I'm receiving. And if it's something that they're feeling called to do, I always tell them, this is your sacred healing. You have your sacred no's and you have your sacred yes. If you're not ready for this, that's okay. We'll just go as far as you want to go. And then we just go from there. And so it's a combination. It's a feeling, it's a knowing, and it's a conversation with the world of spirit and their higher self too. Because sometimes I know for me as a healer, I get blocked like with my wounds and it's, oh, I need to go sit with one of my healers to help me go deeper. So it varies on the individual sitting with me. Like I said earlier, it's depending where they are at in that present moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's an old wound in the past that needs to be healed, or it's something that recently happened, or something that's not even in the awareness. And it's not always about healing. Sometimes it's also about making that next step. How do you move forward? If you have decisions to make, sometimes we come in a crossroad like, do I want to share this? And is this the road I want to take? Or do I stay with this? It all depends on that moment. It's the need of that present moment. I just have to come back to that present moment. That's just how I like to work with is what do we need right now? That's going to be in the decisions and the life that I'm creating for myself or with others.
And that's just beautiful. And like when I hear this is what you do for other women, have you been on a similar journey? If you were to take a snapshot of you 5 years ago, are you in a different place? And is this part of what you had learned over this time? Like the
Oh,
wisdom
absolutely.
that you've been uncovering? Talk to us a
Yes.
little bit about your journey.
Yes. I always say I could only talk about and share about my lived experience. I can't do astrology. I haven't been taught. It's not in my wheelhouse. I would love to learn that because it's so freaking helpful and magical, but I can't digest it. It's not one of my modalities. And teach and I support other women. And I have noticed this in my body. And this is how I came to holding space and wanting to work with other women and the empowerment of other women is 'cause I had to walk that same path. I had to learn how to reclaim who Gracie was. It wasn't saying I didn't know who I was, but I was living in a belief system that was conditioned through my lived experience that kept me limited. I had to bring healing in so many areas, even in parts where it was causing problems with my intimate relationships because I had walls, right?
Yeah.
So that's what started my journey. It was my healing journey that led me to who I am today, to really understand that my lived experience created and shaped who I am today. And working with other people, because at 44, Gracie, that's when I started my healing journey. I thought I had to do it all myself. I didn't want people to see the shame, the guilt, the fears,
Yeah.
the bad decisions in my life I made because I thought I had to carry the scarlet letter. I thought it was just my
Yeah.
lot of life of having carried this, but it was like through that healing, it really led to so much awareness and forgiveness and understanding of how I am stronger than I think I was. And reflecting back, it's hard sometimes for us women, even men, to look back at our past experience and, oh my God, that was
Yeah.
hard. And we carry that like it's ours to carry. And it's no, how do we look at that experience, take the lesson, and release what's not ours to carry? Bad stuff happens to us. And it's not because we're bad people, it's just a bad experience. And it doesn't take away the hurt and stuff, but we can transmute that and release it so it can empower us versus keep us trapped. And I was trapped. And I'm not saying I didn't have a great life because I have amazing children, I have amazing husband, but I did keep them at surface level. I did raise my kids through my traumas. They're all adults now. And so my body of work has come through my lived experience. Even spirit, like I saw spirit young at a very young age, but because I was raised in a religious household and wasn't taught that all the stuff that I know now, I felt like we have to have boundaries with the good and bad spirits. Oh my God. So it's like just sharing that knowledge because it's my knowledge that I lived and walked through. And I can't share what other people, like if I sit in circles or if I read a book, because I didn't realize I love theology and philosophy, but I do. And I can't teach through that lens, but I can teach and share my stories through what I have implemented in my life. What worked for me. It may not work for you, but let's discover it. Let's discover what Michelle, if I was working with them, okay, let's get a little deep. Let's see what your life experiences and let's see what will work for you as it will continue to evolve and support you in your journey, whether it's your healing or your spiritual development, connecting and trusting your intuition. It's going to be, there may be similarities, but it's going to be unique to your lived experience. And that's what I love.
Yeah. I just love that. I'm just going to capture some of the things that you had mentioned, and it's just in your journey, it's how you've come from one place, like it's saying yes to starting a journey. Like you say, Gracie at 44, right? And it's saying, and really just, I find it can be like an onion and uncovering layers, and you go through different layers and recognizing as you go through that, you come across different modalities, passions, like you said, looking at philosophy and theology that you've really enjoyed, but you didn't know that before. And also, I use an idea where I talk about an elephant and 5 blind monks touching the elephant. And it's the idea that each monk says, no, this is what truth is. And they're touching the tail, and one's touching the leg, one's touching the ear or the trunk. And I like what you're saying in that we never know where we're touching the elephant. And it's just enjoying the experience of that moment through that modality, through that experience at that moment that can open up something new, activate something new in you. And recognizing that truth or understanding continues to evolve and expand as you're living your life and saying yes each and every time to this journey.
Absolutely. I love that. Okay, first of all, elephants are one of my favorite animals. I mean, okay, I'm all smiling. Yes, I can see myself touching that. But it is evolution, and I replace the onion, like, oh, onions stink. I always say it's a flower, whether it's a lotus flower, a rose flower. I love dahlias, so when I see that opening of those petals, it's like this is a new awareness in my journey. And every time that petal opens, it's a different aspects. It's a different experience. It's a different knowledge, wisdom. Whatever that petal is going to bring you is going to imprint in your heart on your journey. And you can look back on it. I look back in my life quite often because it's, okay, what do I need to bring in my awareness? And I never thought I was going to be able to forgive certain parts of my past. And through the work I do, and one thing that I have found, it's easier to forgive others. But when it comes to forgiving yourself, I'm 51 years old, and I never thought I would live to see 51. In my early 20s and 30s, it was just like, oh, I'll be surprised. But it's like now I look back and I truly feel it's because I have forgiven part of myself, and I got to see myself. And through that forgiveness, like I wasn't aware of what I was, you don't know until you know, that analogy. And now that I know I'm not who I was in my 20s or teens, I do know now, so I will do better now. But I give love and gratitude to that Gracie that didn't know. And I'm so grateful for this Gracie and the journey that she continued to say, okay, let's continue, put one foot in the other. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves one step or another, especially in the transitioning in our lives. One thing around is change. Life is always changing, but we get to choose the change on how to change and make those choices in our lives. And it's in really connecting back to our hearts and bringing our awareness. Okay, what do I need to be and fill myself up? And I said this earlier, not on here, but in the conversation today, is like, it's not selfish to fill your cup up, to remind you who you are, can beat you down or make you feel not enoughness or not worthy. But no, we're always at. It's who we are inside. That is who we share with ourselves first and foremost. And then our lived experiences, does it get better? Absolutely. Are we never going to encounter hardship? No, we're. I had a conversation about that. I'm like, no, we're still going to have sticky situations, but we learn to bring those practices in to help us navigate those stickier moments.
Just two things. The first one is I can really resonate with that idea. And I think for me, it was a surprise on my journey that as much as I was looking outward to heal, to change things, I think the surprising thing is that you have to just go deeply inward. So as much as you're looking outward for outward, the real changes happen in a deeply personal way. And I think that love, and I often will say that it's about that deep self-love, that deep self-compassion and deep forgiveness, because we do give it to those around us. And we give people a lot of grace around us. And yet often we can have higher expectations and less grace for ourselves. So I do, I really enjoy that. And just, I wanted to capture, because you said there's practices that I do now. Would you have some that you find are very powerful and you say, yeah, these are some of the things that I do now that I find help me in this journey that I'm on?
Oh, yes. And my practices have evolved. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier when you were asking about my work. It's in the present moment. What does Gracie need today? And one thing that is constant is sitting and connecting back to Mother Earth. Like that had been a practice that I wasn't aware that I was doing. Like now that I'm more conscious about it, I'm like, oh my goodness, I've been doing this all my life, but I didn't know I was doing it. But it's really connecting back to my heart and asking myself, okay, what do I need? Do I need to sit and meditate? And meditation can be different for everybody. Sometimes I have monkey mind, so I have to have music playing, whether it's soft music or loud music, but I have to have, because my mind just all gets flooded in the snow. And then it's really going outside. I have to go outside, either connect to the ground, to Mother Earth with a tree. And I do that a lot. I have to tell you a funny story. And then connecting with Mother God and Father God. Like my wordings have changed because my awareness have changed. So I either say divine source or divine creator, creation, because you can't have one without the other. And so one practice that I'm doing now, and I have to say that has been constant, is visualizing connecting to Mother Earth's heart and allowing her thread. And I envision this beautiful silver thread just clearing all my lower chakras, meeting at my heart, and just allowing her silver thread to just circulate while I call in the divine creator and creations golden thread, and allowing that to clear my upper chakras, and then allowing that to meet at my heart, and the two threads just dancing with each other around my heart and connecting. And then I just say an intention like, thank you for allowing my heartbeat to beat with your heartbeat. Because that has been a practice that was gifted to me while I was going through a medical situation. And I was sitting with and talking to Mother Earth and thanking her for regulating my system. And it's just been a practice that I come to almost daily. And I notice when I get anxiety or I get just needing to calm down, I know my heart is out of rhythm with the natural rhythm of Earth. And so that's one of my practices I've been doing lately. I sit with my team. I talk to them all the time. Like they are standing with me. My drives are long conversations. And before I was like, people probably think I'm a crazy lady, but now I'm like, they probably think I'm talking on the phone. But make sure I connect with my spirit first and foremost, and then connecting with the team I work with.
Yes. I just love what you've just said. And you've just talked, I can envision that silver thread and the golden thread. And as I've come to understand my intuition and understand being able to listen and lead with my soul, it has been that power of visualization, imagination, and
Mm.
then a trust that you're not fooling yourself. And like, how did you learn to listen to that intuition for yourself? What kind of clairs do you have? And then how did you learn to trust it and listen to them?
I love this question because I was just I felt, is this real? I had to learn to trust my intuition um, by trusting what I was receiving. Like I started working with
Mm.
the angels first. I didn't trust myself, but I trusted the angels. And whenever they brought something, I knew that they were training me to trust more. And they brought, for me to order to trust my intuition, I need to learn to trust myself. And I'm like, so I had to sit with that for a minute. Like, how do I trust
Yeah.
my intuition? So I had to learn how to, like, whenever I receive some, I had to learn to trust that. When I talked about myself, I
Yeah.
had to relearn to love myself again, to learn to trust what I was saying about myself and what to others, and being very mindful of that because I have through my lived experience see other people in their modalities misuse their medicine to in themselves. And one of my intentions was I never wanted to cause harm. That's still forefront of my heart is never do harm through any
Yeah.
messaging, anything I do. And so I had to learn how to trust that I wasn't going to do harm, right?
Yes.
Because it was an awareness. And through that, I started feeling things like when I started developing with like people would walk past me and I would get a pain. I'm like, oh, what is this? And they walk away and I'm like, what is that? So for a while, I was like feeling their pain of their loved ones. And
Mm.
I trusted the angel so much. And this was at my day job. And it was a small company, but they knew I was developing and they
Yeah.
understood and they were open to it. And um I have to give them gratitude because they were so courageous and welcoming of me developing. They're like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And I started learning that was very clairsentient. And I've been this way all my life, but I never knew the word to it until I
Yeah.
started developing. Like, okay, so I started developing that. I'm like, okay, I'm clairsentient. I feel everything, and I still do. I'm a feeler, and I love that part because that's how I learned a lot of things that I know in my lived experience. And I was like, oh, but sometimes it could be taxing, right? Like you feel everything is who I know how now through development and teachers and mentors in my life, they showed me how to protect my energy. So anywho, and then the messages would come in. I'm like, how do I know this? And people would say, like, how do you know that? I'm like, I don't know. And that's the clear knowing, right? The clear cognizance. And it's, oh, now I know the names of this. Now I could work with this. I do hear things. I do capture spirits telling me or give me through songs, through
Yeah.
messages or reading, like different ways. And I didn't know that was clairaudience, especially through music. Music has been a big development for me. Oh, I get a lot
Yes.
of messages through music, but the one that I still am developing is my clairvoyance because I did count early in my years because I didn't see I'm trying to be very careful with the words I use. I didn't see the light spirit. I saw the dark spirit. It scared, it was very fearful because I didn't understand it. So I closed my daydreaming down. I closed my imagination down. I closed anything that had to do with spirits. I just shut it down because I didn't understand it. It's starting to open up. I'm still clearing that third eye chakra. Okay. They're coming a lot better in my dreams. I shut my dreams down because of it too. That's connected to our clairvoyance is our dreaming. So yeah, it took a while for me to trust it. I have to say it really started when I started my mediumship. Like the angels really helped me, but I always said, "Oh, the angels are bringing this. The angels are bringing this," because they brought a lot um of my confidence in, but I always contributed to the angels because I trusted them so much because they were a big part of my healing and they're still part of my journey. I talk a lot about but they also brought me to mediumship. They also helped me understand my guides. And it's, oh, we have a team back here. So it has been such a beautiful journey. I know now, Gracie today knows that my relationship with my spirit team is exactly that, a relationship like I would have here, like me and you. For us to be friends, we're going to have to be in relationship and get to know each other and have conversations. These are
Yeah.
my biggest supporters and my allies and my friends. And I build my relationship like I would with any other relationship. I talk to them. I don't count on them to do life with me, but I know I have them as a resource, a support, protection, healing, insight. And I'm so glad I have that awareness now that I could share with people. Like, you have a spirit team, call on them.
Yes. It's interesting because I too, through mediumship, explored different aspects of getting messages. So before, I come from a Christian background before. And so that idea of connecting to God and feeling God and messages within that very narrow scope of religion. But getting into these different modalities allowed me to really open that up. And then using the language, like you're talking about divine source, divine creator, just changing how you talked about it also helped me to just open up and receive in different ways. And I've
Ooh.
always had claircognizance. So that sense of knowing, that sense of, even I used it in my work, but I didn't know that I was using it. But upon action, I can see it. But mediumship did bring for me clairvoyance, which really surprised me because I didn't think I would have it, because I have shut down, similar to you, that idea of seeing things for being scared or dreams. So I'm still working on that part. And yet there would be, as was practicing mediumship, all of a sudden images were coming, and it was interesting to describe those and have messages come in that way. From that, I've learned that the different ways that we explore the just expansive world of the divine, of spirit, however you call it, there's just so many ways that the universe tries to connect with us. So I just have found that. And I love how you describe your spirit team and building that relationship, because I find it's exactly the same for me. It is that spending time, and what do they feel like? Where do they feel in your body? And I found when I start different modalities, it's almost like sometimes a new spirit team member will come in, and then all of a sudden they talk to you in a different, it's not like it's a different voice, but you just know it's a different feeling in how they're
A different
talking with you.
essence. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
call it essence. And I love how you brought that in, because our team and how we receive, whether it's just connecting, and it's like, I didn't know I had a team when I first started. I'm just working with the angels. And then every time I did an angel reading, they brought a left. I'm like, okay, the angels are bringing in. And it was like, ooh. And then someone asked me, are you a medium? I'm like, no. Because you had to be born with all this stuff. But it's coming back to your remembrance. There's no separation in the world of spirit. Like, before I started developing, I used to be like, I wondered, because I had to learn who I was in the image of God. That's a whole different story, but I had to bring healing around that too, and around Jesus and all, because I was raised in a household. So, anyways, but it's like and I love how you express like how you developed and how your mediumship really opened up your clairvoyance. And this is what I love about sharing our stories, because they can be similar, but they're so unique through our lived experiences and how we connect with, whether it's your guide, whether it's your angels, whether it's your loved ones or ancestors, creator, and animal has spirits, or the tree people. Yep. Everything is spirit, has energy. And it's opening up your awareness. Like, how do I receive it? Like, I'm looking at the trees and it's just dancing. And the trees can teach us so much. And our uniqueness and our lived experience. We could be looking at the same tree and you get a different message than I do, because it's what we need and the support we need. And there is truly, like, there's truly no wrong way of connecting with your spirit team. If you have good intentions and you're like, okay, I want to know I'm supported, you're always supported. It's just opening up that awareness, like calling in that support and that guidance. Whether you do this as a practice and a service or just for your own personal development, knowing
Yeah.
that um, we don't truly walk this path alone. And
Yeah.
sometimes we can feel truly alone. Even in the body of work I do, what we do now, we can sometimes feel isolated, but that is just a conditioning. And it's, oh, wait, I get reminded like, okay, I need to connect to my spirit team. And sometimes, and this is a hard truth that I've learned, as much as I build my relationship with my team and I love feeling their presence and their essence and just feeling supported, there's going to be times in our lives where we won't feel our spirit team. Doesn't mean they're not there supporting us, just meaning what we're walking through, we have to walk through. It's our lived experience, whether it's a teaching for ourselves or for someone else. And I'm so glad our mentor teaches that, because it was like, at first, it was like, oh my goodness, what did I do wrong? But it's not about that. It's like they're all there and they all will come back and support us. But through this cycle of your life, you need to experience life for what it is. So I love that.
Yeah. It's such a powerful story, and you're correct, and a reminder, because I too, in your big transitional moments, it can feel like you're so alone, and it doesn't, and it's hard. And I call it like the denseness of your body or the noise of your mind. You
I love
can't
that.
hear those being whispers of your spirit team because your body just can't hear it. It's too dense, and your mind is too loud. And it is really hard in those moments to trust and surrender. And that's why it's always leaning in and then continuing to know that they're going to be there. And yeah, and I think it's so powerful that you're saying that, because it's to remember that. And in those big transitional moments, because you do feel alone.
You
But
do. I love how you said the denseness of our body, the words you said. I'm like, oh, yes, I love the way you express that. So thank you for that. That's just so resonant for me, because it is. It's like we don't feel that support. We don't feel that receiving of those whispers. I love how you said that. So thank you for sharing. I'm like, oh, I love those words you're using. Because yes, I could feel it. To reflect that. Yeah. Just walk through that.
it is. And I think for me, that was some surprise. And I think it is that leftover from some of the religion aspect, which
Yeah.
was if you're going through bad things, then it's has to do with the choice you did wrong. There's a wrongness in it, right? From that concept, perhaps of sin, I'm not sure, but like that idea of wrongness. So
Mm.
at first, I was surprised with this because I was wondering if you're on this healing journey, if you're on this spiritual path, then really it should be almost magical. And I think that's the thing I had in my head. There's this magic, nothing wrong will go wrong anymore because you're on this spiritual path, unless
Mhm.
you're doing it wrong and then you fall off. And then I'm going, but I have come to realize what you're saying is no, actually, we're here as humans to have a human experience, which means that we're going to need to expand and explore what's happening in our lives. And that only comes from difficulty, hardship, and those crunchy, dense moments of life. And it's through there that we really begin to explore ourselves at a deeper level. What do we have to let go of? What do we need to call in?
Mhm.
And it is, and that's the surrender. And that's to recognize. I used to say, oh, I'm doing something wrong. And now I recognize with a new perspective, a new frame of reference. Oh, I need to be curious because this means that I might be up leveling. This means that new things are coming in. And so it's almost with a curiosity, even though you feel dense and your brain is going, but you start to build in a curiosity and
Yeah.
going, what's coming?
Yeah. And it's also after practicing and creating healthy habits, practices, or rituals to come back to self. Like I had to learn also, like, instead of, because I used to be famous, like, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Oh, I had to reframe those words because our words are powerful, right? What we say carries that energetic frequency and it continues to happen. It's, this is my karma. But it's, I had to learn, okay, this is not happening to me. I know this is happening for me, even though this is not, I don't want to use bad words, but you know what I'm saying? It's not good. Okay, what do I need to do to get me through this? And it takes time. It takes like awareness. And it does get crunchy, but it's always coming back to ourselves because it's not happening to us, it's happening for us. And when someone told me that, I'm like, how do you know? Now looking back, I'm like, yeah, that did help me. And it's like at the time you don't realize it, especially those deep grievances that you're in that deep grief. And it's like, how is this helping me? And you see it at the moment, but it's coming back to that trust. Like, okay, I don't see this right now, team. I don't see this right now, creator. Thank you for helping me just take it one day at a time. Thank you for helping me see through the fog, or whatever the words that are for you in that present moment will help you just gain clarity or just comfort. Okay. Because sometimes it's just like asking for support. It's okay to ask for support. We don't have to walk this path alone. And know that there is good people out there that will help and navigate life with you and support you through your navigation of life, right? The religion was a really hard part for me too. Like I had so much anger because I felt at the time that it limited me. I didn't know who I was in God's eyes. I didn't love me. I say he because that's what the words that was used when I was. So that was another part of my healing journey, is building my relationship with my creator and with Jesus and Mother Mary, like knowing that we can call on these amazing spirits because they're part of who we are, and reconciling what was taught to me through someone else's lens. So I had to bring forgiveness in that too. Like not be angry at God because I was, because it was through someone else's lens. And oh, wait, no, I need to build my relationship, not through anybody else's lens, which there could be great teachings, but there's also, right, that goes in any modality. So whether it's religion, spiritual, atheism, it is, we're human people. Even with me, I could only speak through my lived experience. Not everybody's going to resonate with it, and that's okay. Take what you want and leave what doesn't. And it's like that concept should be in, I should have took that in my earlier years, but I didn't know. But now I know, oh, there was great teachings, but it's more about who am I in the image of creator and who is created in my image? And how do I be a reflection of that divine light that runs through us? Each and one of us, we have that divine source running through us. And how do we reflect that into the world, into our lives first and foremost, and be a reflection of that? Because we're mirrors for each other. So it was something that I still bring in. Like I always come back like, okay, how do I talk about this aspect? Because religion is a really hot topic, a hard topic, not a hot topic. And, but it is something that I will be talking about in the near future through my lived experience.
Yes. Yes. And it's so beautifully said, and how you express that. And I would agree. And I think for me, that's where that idea of the elephant, and it's that of that lens. And you talked about it so much about us being a mirror. And it's really that idea of take what other people are as they describe their experience with the elephant. And that's correct. Everybody's through their lens, their mirror, and then what does resonate with you. And I think that's that thing, that permission of, if it isn't resonating with you for whatever reason, you can just leave it, because
Yeah.
you are the unique soul meant to be here on your unique journey. And it's to resonate. And I've even find sometimes I don't resonate with it yet. And I've come back to some concepts, some ideas, and I'm like, now that I've developed a little bit more, have expanded my understanding a little bit more, it makes more sense. But in the beginning, I
Actually,
was like, no, I don't understand it. I couldn't get there yet. So that's
yeah,
another thing I'm also open to is that.
I love that. I believe that our soul and our spirit always could bring us back to our remembrance. Like our soul already knows what our teachings are and what our spirit is being called to. Like I said earlier, I love astrology, but I know in my soul it's not what I do, but I will sit and listen and learn and be like, wow, that like I'm is in awe about how people could read things, but our soul will always come back to and give us little hints of what is within us. And that's what makes us so beautiful and unique is because there our soul will always bring us back to that remembrance of that teaching within us and that teaching and that medicine that runs through us. And I just find that I have loved that journey so far because it's like when doesn't mean I don't question it because I always like, what is this? Because it's
Yeah.
not in my, how you said earlier, it's not in your awareness. You're not ready to explore that because it's like very foreign. Like, I don't know about plant medicine right now. This is not my teaching, but it keeps coming up and it's, oh, okay. Why is it's that curiosity? I love how you said that because I always say, have a curious mind coming up for me repeatedly and see and ask those questions with spirit or with the mentor, with a trusted colleague or who your friends. And okay, this is coming up. And when we ask those questions, guess what? More information comes in, more inspiration comes in. You're like, okay, here we go.
I'm on it. I always call it going down another rabbit hole. Diving in, diving in. I want to thank you so much for coming here today, Gracie. I recognize our time. And I just want the listeners to know how to connect with you. What is it that you have going on right now that they can dive into? I know today I was listening to your beautiful live, and I believe you have that once a week. And so you have so many ways that they can connect or work with you. I am going to put some of this in the show notes, but I just want you to talk to the listeners how they can find you.
Thank you first and foremost, Michelle, for inviting me on your podcast. I just adore you. I love you always. Your smile always uplifts me, touches my heart. You're such a beautiful woman. And I just appreciate you so much. Yeah, where can you find me? You can find me on my website, gracefulhealing.me. My services are there. I do blogs on there and my YouTube's on there. I have a YouTube channel, Graceful Healing. Yeah, Graceful Healing with Gracie. I'm like, what is handle? Or you can find me on Instagram at gracefulhealing_9. I have my offerings. I do mediumship. I do one-on-one mentors. Right now, I'm really diving into, I created a voice activation and healing session, and it's in the present moment. It's where you're at, where you want to bring your self-expression to. And it's a guided with my spirit team and your spirit team. It's a guided session and it's a healing session and a activation session for you. I feel it's very impactful. It is, as you said, soul maintenance. It's from a variety, whether you are just on your healing journey, whether you're just starting your spiritual journey, or you are in an advancement in your spiritual development or practices. It brings awareness of what you need in that present moment. You can find that on my website too. I also am creating, which I haven't posted out yet. I'm doing a healing circle once a month. It is the Infinity Circle. There will be only 8 spots, the power of 8. 8 has been so profound for me lately. And that will be an intentional group. Every month will be a new intention. And as a group, we will sit together, bringing that intention and then also bring healing and activation too. So yeah, that's what's going on for Gracie right now. Yeah, I'm just so excited to be able to serve and just support. I always say I'm just a spiritual sister for other people. And I know that we hold each other when we support each other. what magnitude that brings for not only ourselves, but for each other. And I feel right now that's what we always need, that to really honor our truth, come back to the remembrance and know that we don't have to walk this path alone, that we have each other, we support each other, and we see each other.
Yes, yes. Oh, Gracie, glad you've been here. And I have had the honor of your voice activation as well as other readings, and it has been a profound impact and healing for myself. So I encourage anyone that wants to connect with you in your free content and then in the different services you have. And you truly are this beautiful soul that is here to uplift the collective. And I say the collective of the world, and you're just a gift. And so I'm glad that you were here and sharing your voice and all of who you are. So many blessings, my friend.
Thank you. I truly appreciate your kind words.
And for my listeners, until next time, keep leading with your soul. That wraps up another episode of the Lead with Your Soul podcast. I'm so grateful you chose to spend this time with me. As you navigate your own life transitions, remember to be gentle with yourself and embrace the journey. If you found value in today's episode, please subscribe and share it with others who might benefit. Join me next week for more insights and inspiration. Until next time, keep leading with your soul.